These next two questions are only slightly different. We're still being asked to find the equation of a line, but this time we're given 2 points. I am not given my slope, and I am still being asked to write it in slope-intercept form. So my first step one, I actually have to find or calculate the slope. No big deal, we have an equation for that. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. But in order to solve, I will need to really quickly calculate that slope. So 4 minus 5 over 1 minus 3. Getting a slope of positive 1/2. Double check. Hopefully we agree. And then the second part now, I can write the equation. So I now have the slope, and I only need 1 point. They gave me 2. It does not matter which one you use. Try it. Either one you plug in, you're going to end up in the same spot. So I'm just going to use, I guess, the first one, y minus 5. We said the slope was 1/2, x minus 3. Now I do need to put that in slope-intercept form, so I need to solve for y. Now, there are fractions here, and I know for some reason students seem to think they hate fractions. You don't hate fractions. You just are really you're getting too used to going to your calculator. Fractions are not bad. 1/2 times x is just 1/2 x. 1/2 times 3 is 3/2. Remember, you multiply straight across. 1 times 3 over 2 times 1. It is negative. So I put that there. And then on the other side, I've got y minus 5. Now I just need to move the plus 5 over, right? I'm going to put plus 5. But listen, I got fractions here, right? The good news is that's a whole number. I need a common denominator. No big deal. I want my denominator to be 2. So instead of 5, I'm going to rewrite 5 as 10 over 2. Easy peasy. 10 divided by 2 is 5. I've just sort of dressed it up so that now I can add my constant term. So I've got negative 3 plus 10 will give me a positive 7/2 for my slope-intercept form. Now again, on your homework, you will be asked to graph. And because these came out as fractions, remember, it's not going to let you graph. It's telling me my y-intercept b is 7/2, so 3.5. And if you try to plot a point right here on this program in MATLAB at 3.5, I don't know why I did it negative. That's supposed to be positive. So let me try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right there would be my y-intercept. And then I'm going up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, right? I'd get this kind of a graph. But it's not going to let you do that. So keep in mind, you do not have to graph from this form. You could have graphed way back here before you did a single thing. You could have graphed first. I mean, maybe it doesn't give you that option, but you could have just simply by plotting those 2 points. You grab your little pointer on the graph that they give you, and you plot a point at 3.5, and you plot a point at 1.4. And then when it graphs those two things in, it's going to create a line that's going to have that slope or that y-intercept at 3.5, but which you were not able to graph. So just be aware, you can graph from anything. You can graph with the y-intercept and the slope. You can graph from the 2 points. Just because this is where we're finishing in the notes, that doesn't mean that that's your only option when it comes to graphing. All right, pause the video, try D, and then check back in and see how you did. So first things first, you're to find the slope, and hopefully you got a slope of 0. When you plug that in to find the equation, then you end up with y equals 5. And perhaps you went through all those steps. There's nothing wrong with going through all those steps. But when you have a horizontal or vertical line, notice the y value in both cases is 5. That should be a big hint that my equation is just going to be y equals 5, that everything else will drop out. The same is true if you have a vertical line. If you were asked to write an equation through the line and it goes through these points 3, 1 and 3, -7, well, the equation is going to be x equals 3. Done. I don't need to find, the slope is undefined. I'm going to end up with 0 in the denominator. And if I plug in a point, everything's going to cancel out except for that x equals 3. So just as a shortcut, if you're paying attention, when you have horizontal and vertical lines, they're actually really easy to write the equation for if you notice that both x's or both y's are the same number.